because it's only a few weeks now until pitchers and catchers report for spring training. I want to ask you what you think of what's gone on here over the last little bit with the Red Sox, because, look, it was, I think, a tough look to watch, the Red Sox sign Bregman last offseason. That pisses off Rafael Devers. He ends up leaving over it, and then you lose Bregman this offseason, but they do go out and get Ranger Suarez, one of the big free agents of the year. I'm just sort of curious. The Yankees haven't done much yet. The Jays missed out on Kyle Tucker. The Jays did not bring back Bo Bichette. So while it's been a good offseason for the Jays, I think it could have been a bigger offseason for the Jays. The Red Sox do get Suarez. I'm just sort of curious, as we look at the arms race, I guess I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Pete Alonso goes to the Orioles. The AL East beefing up again. I'm sort of curious, man, as a Red Sox guy, where you stand on how this winter has played out so far.
Yeah, well, you know what? In order to start answering that kind of question, because it's been that bad, I think I need to open up my
I can't
pint.
believe I forgot the beers.
Yeah.
This is my whole thing, man. And I got a beer sitting here, too.
And that's the thing. Like you forced
Bund
me
is
to
a pro.
drink.
I'm a schlub sitting here. What is the pint? You're right, Matt.
Oh man, I went with the Kitchissippi Beer Company, good friend Paul Meek, great dude. The Sasquatch Schnitzel. It's the Vienna style lager. I'm going to go with that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something that it sounds like it's going to be pretty good. 5.2%. Nice tally of that. And before I start ranting, I'm going to take a nice sip of this, and I'm going to have to ask you what you have.
You have had to take control of my show because I've already blown it. We're like 4 minutes into this. I've already steered it off the rails. I also have a Sasquatch themed beer. Funny enough, man.
That's what I'm talking about. Sasquatch Day. Let's go.
Well, when the winter looks like this, I guess our minds are both in the same place. This comes from the Cameron's Brewing Company. This is called the Chalky Walkie Milkshake Stout, 5.8%. The description here on the can sort of describes it as being, a stout this rich kind of being as rare as a Sasquatch sighting, which is not rare at all today. We're both going Sasquatch themed beer. So that's what I got going.
Why is it rare? They're out there, man. You just got to look.
Sasquatch is real. It's,
That's right. They talk about aliens being right. I'm waiting for Donald Trump and everybody to open up the Sasquatch files. Where are they at?
We'll find them in Greenland.
Exactly.
What's going on in Red Sox land before we get too political?
Yeah, trust me. I don't need to get it on there. But I don't even know if I want to go to Red Sox land. It has been a bit weird because I think what bothers me the most about the Bregman thing is how it was so dead for so long, but it always felt like Bregman was favored to sign back with Boston.
Yes.
Like basically since their playoff run, it's like, look, he's probably going to, opt out. They're going to bring him back in. It's going to all work out. And it's going to be, shake hands and we're all good. It seems like Boston was a good match.
Run is a charitable way to describe losing a 2-out-of-3 series to the Yankees.
Hey, they took the lead. They took the lead.
That's true.
It was a good building year, though. They built on their you know what? They've been kind of a
Boston
doormat.
has a pile of great prospects coming, right? They weren't quite ready this year, but they are coming.
Yeah, skiing's worry, but yeah, but I think that Boston's in a spot right now where they're kind of like, the way that Toronto played, New York, well, however much they spent, also, I guess, the way that they play. The East is always going to be, and like you said, Baltimore's stacking up too. They're kind of in a spot where they're never going to be favored right now to be in that top three. So they're kind of in a sneaky spot where they're just like chilling there. Like, it is unfortunate to not get Bregman back, especially, like I said, it always was that talk that he was just going to to sign back in Boston. Yeah. There wasn't a lot of rumors up until basically he signed a couple days
because he had
before.
an opt-out, right? Like, it was a 3-year deal, and it was just he would opt out to bump that salary a little, and Boston would pay him a bit
too. Like, is this we have an understanding here? You're going to be cool. Like, am I thinking of this wrong too? Like, listen, if you opt out, we'll bring you some serious money. I guess if it's a player option, they could just choose to do whatever the hell they want. But I'm just like, I don't know.
It's just so common now, right?
It wasn't like when he opted out that there was a big talk of him leaving. Right?
No, and this was it.
He was always coming back
to get the number up. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So
no, I thought he was going back.
Yeah. So, am I wrong there? Is that come on, man? It feels like you just gave the Boston Red Sox a middle finger. What the hell is going on? But
after watching them trade Devers over it, right? I don't know. It's a tough look for Boston. But yeah, maybe they got hosed a little by Bregman. But when you offer up those opt-outs, and we're seeing them more and more, right? Kyle Tucker got a couple of them this year. Bo Bichette got 2 of them this year. Like, I guess that's just the new reality.
And see, Boston, and I think
Lindor had it. Yeah, it's anyway.
Yeah, no, I think they put themselves in a spot where, like, you know what, if we're aiming for like third in the division, we're that team that's probably talked about. Like, again, it's going to always go Yankees right now. The Blue Jays have themselves in that thing. The Red Sox are right there, but they're not there. So it's kind of like, okay, like you said, bring in Ranger, see how things go here now. But I wouldn't be surprised to see another big move from them or something change from them.
Well, because that rotation is legit. Like that is maybe the best rotation in the AL East. If it's in the conversation, the Yankees, when everybody's healthy with Cole and Rodon and some of those guys, the Blue Jays have gone out and brought in Cease. That Red Sox rotation can hang with either of those teams. It'll be what can you get out of this lineup at this point. And I think fans are just frustrated that Red Sox revenues are normally like top 5 in the league, but they spend at like 20th in the league right now. And that's a tough look when you're a team that's normally spending alongside the Yankees at minimum. And no one right now is keeping up with the Dodgers, but I think fans are looking for them to spend.
They're ruining baseball, apparently. Kyle Tucker, what is it? The owners are now mad. All with Kyle Tucker, like, since when this guy became a big name that everyone's got to worry about? But
when you give him $60 million a year, he suddenly is a big name. Like, it is insane.
But I think it's just my idea of, look at what the Jays and the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers have done before. And it's like Kyle Tucker comes around, signs this big deal, and it's like, holy shit, now they're bad for baseball.
Just softening everybody up for that lockout next year.
Mookie Betts is on the roster. Like, you got so many other like, they've made some other moves, and it's like, okay, now Kyle Tucker, all right, we need a salary cap in baseball. Yeah. I just kind of find it funny. It's like Kyle Tucker is going to be that guy that, like, stirred up the whole MLB and fired in a cap. Because,
a good player, a really good player, but not not like Soto, not like Shohei, and that's going to be the one that's the backbreaker. I'm curious, though, like, going into the season, and we'll see. Like I said, that rotation is legit, but they're going to need some of these young players in Boston to take a step forward. Do you think they can hang at a place where they possibly... Because there's some guys here that the Jays are going to count on. Like, I don't know that Barger is going to be as good as he was last year, or Clement, or Okamoto coming over. Like, I think a lot of Jays fans are excited about these guys, and I'm one of them, but there's no guarantee that some of these guys repeat what they were. We'll see what the Yankees look like. Do you expect this to be kind of a mess at the top that doesn't shake loose until the very end when someone wins the division? Do you expect someone to run away and, Boston and somebody else to kind of battle? Like, I'm just curious where you see the Red Sox in the mix as we head into the into spring training here, just a couple weeks away.
Yeah, I think they're right there. Like, I think they're just a middle team that it's hard for me to kind of like say as a Red Sox fan, but like, this feels like a year where they're either going to overachieve or underachieve. We're going to see how much Bregman is a loss. Like, again, bringing in Ranger Suarez, that's a big move.
Yep.
We already know that, this Boston Red Sox team is a team that has a good rotation. What are you doing with the bats, though? And that's the problem I have. Like, again, that's a team so far that has been real good. Well, that depth
in the rotation, I wonder if there's something you can trade out of there to grab a bat, right? Like, maybe that's a way you can approach this. It's interesting.
Yeah. Well, and I guess it's going to be, the next couple steps here, like a guy like Roman Anthony, right? He showed up and, man, he was really good. But then when he was injured, you could tell they just were missing that extra beat. Jaron Duran, for, okay last year, but, kind of fell off from the year before, right?
Sure.
Was it the exact same kind of player? Can he take like another step, right? There's a couple of guys that you want to see take that next step. I think they're maybe missing one more bat, though, like one more kind of a bigger bat, but they seem to have shied away from these big home run hitters and kind of want to play that kind of smaller ball and whatnot. So
Bo would have been incredible in Boston. With the wall, like with the Green Monster, the big right-handed bat, who's not a huge power guy, but he's just going to keep lobbing doubles off that monster.
Seriously.
That was the guy to shoot for, I think, for them. And look, I don't think anybody saw him ending up with the Mets. The Phillies thought they had him at one point. That didn't pan out, but we'll see. Yeah. You're right, because I do think that rotation is good enough to hang it's going to be a question of whether they can.
And Trevor Story, right? Like last year, he had one of his best years of his career, kind of thing, going back to his days back in Colorado, kind of thing. And he's a guy that struggled to stay healthy his whole career. Can he have that same kind of success for another season? I don't want to bet on that. If it is, like, I feel like a luxury for this team.
It's a huge piece, though. Yeah, that's the swing point. That's the pivot point, right?
Like, obviously health is always going to be a big deal. And when I look to what, how this team can be better, well, again, how many games is a guy like Trevor Story going to play? Is his back going to be the same as last year? But then, a guy like Roman Anthony, who, was injured like in the last couple games, didn't get to play in the serious playoff games. He was more or less a guy that now, okay, you got your taste. How good is he this year? Does he take that big jump? Does he struggle a bit off the guard? Like, there's a lot I want to see, but I think they're a team that's right there below the Yankees and the Jays. But you know what? I am kind of just excited to get, going a couple of weeks from now. A little hyped on baseball. Just seems like everybody is good. But, and, as a Jays fan, though, did it hurt? I guess, did you come to reality that you weren't going to bring back Bo Bichette? But, that's something, too, where the Jays were in the World Series, man, 2 outs away. Like, it was crazy. Like, there's a lot of hype this year.
Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah. That's,
it's you either build on excitement or you swallow and swear and regret, right?
I think the Jays have done their best to build on excitement, as you call it, right? And quite correctly, like the amount of eyes that were on that team by the time they got to the World Series, it was incredible. They had put themselves back on that Canadian sports landscape in a big way. In a way that maybe only the Jays can, and probably the Raptors would be the only other team that could. Like, in the NHL, we're split, in the CFL, we're split, right? Like, but the Raptors and the Jays have this unique opportunity to be Canada's team, and when that happens, people rally around it, and they did with the Jays. We'll see what happens. I never really got the feeling, for better or worse, that they were all that interested in bringing back Bo, and once they signed Okamoto, it certainly felt like that was their big infield deal. And look, they got money; they could afford to do more if they wanted to. I didn't think it totally slammed the door on Bo, but it sure felt like all the way through it that he was a distant second or third, plan B or C. After Tucker, certainly after Okamoto. And
you're kind of not really selling me, man. I feel like you're hurt more than you're admitting right now.
Yeah, I got to tell you, though, man, Bo was never my favorite guy.
No? Okay.
And look, there's no denying he was a very good ball player, right? Like, his defense at short was always suspect, but he could hit, and you saw it in Game 7 of the World Series. On one leg, he's hitting Shohei out to, like, if the Jays hold on to that, Bo is now at Joe Carter levels of, or Roberto Alomar levels of hero in Toronto. But his attitude, there was something about the way he talked, there was something about his personality that I didn't love. And I know that sounds like, well, he left, so I never liked him. I get how that comes off. I would have been really happy if the Jays could bring him back, but it was really for his bat, not his personality. Like, he just didn't rub me quite the right way. I don't know what that is. And again, I would have been happier had they got him back, but I'm not sure I'm going to miss Bo. I'll miss him at the plate, but in terms of when you see those moments and guys are smiling and hugging and having great playoff moments and this and that, I don't know. I never really felt like Bo was, I don't know. He just had this kind of standoffish vibe, and that's fine. Like, everyone has their own personality.
It's the hair, Flo Bichette, right? It got to him a bit, man. It's funny because I remember being on the podcast about a year ago, man, right before either the season started or pitchers and catch. I can't remember, but it was when we were discussing how things were going to be so bad for the Blue Jays because at that point they had not signed Vladdy Jr.
Yeah,
and we were kind of worried that things were going to go downhill. They're going to trade him, and we were making these predictions, and to see how much a year has changed my perspective on the Blue Jays. But are they yours? Like, because again, they were always a team that was good, but it's like now they took that next step last year where they showed down the stretch. Yeah, they were a team not to fuck with. Like, they were right
nobody
there.
Saw that coming, man. And we've talked about it on this show. You and I have talked about it. Rob and I have talked about it. Like, going into last season, before the Vladdy signing was announced, right around the beginning of the regular season, my my approach was I just want to enjoy this year because I think after this year, things could be really bad. Like Vlad might leave, Bo might leave. You're just going to be left with kind of the remnants of old Springer, who at the time was coming off a bad year. Like things might be about to get really dark. So let's just enjoy this year for what it is. And then Vlad signs and you get off to a mediocre start, but do kind of take off late in May through June and July. And all of a sudden, everything changes. Everyone's in. Free agents are talking to you. It's clear ownership is ready to spend money. But you're right. The difference between this time a year ago, where it was just like, all right, we got one more year of being respectable before the dark days return, as opposed to, holy shit, they were way better than respectable, and we're a long way off, presumably, from dark days, right? Like, ownership has shown we're going to contend. And look, the amount of money they would have made off broadcasts on Sportsnet, playoff ticket sales, like, they're ready to roll.